Restructuring Nigeria's electricity sector, Vice President Shettima inaugurates Board of the Independent System Operator.
NISO will now be at the heart of our power sector, facilitating seamless coordination among generation, transmission, and distribution.
National Security Advisor warns against ransom payment as 60 more victims regain freedom.
And we are saying enough is enough. We will not be able to stop this thing quickly if people continue to give them money.
Let us use this opportunity to build a legacy in space, science and technology.
Space technology, federal government calls attention to regulation in the interest of national development.
Improve governance, the regulatory framework in our sector, the coordination in our data system.
Building healthier Africa, regulators converge on Abuja to strategize for now and the future. Hello and welcome to the Network News at 9 on NTA. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Hingino John Adams will be reading from the city of Lagos. And our ever-busy businessman, Benny Adams, will serve us some business reports. Benny?
Well, investors in Nigeria's capital market at the end of transaction today actually smiled home with more than 100 billion naira. Stay tuned to get to know what stocks drove the market upwards.
And our sportsman Bade Adeleye will also bring us some thrilling sport reports. Bade.
Well, host Nigeria Customs are currently taking on KCB of Kenya in the round of 16 of the Africa Women's Volleyball Championship and, of course, it's Champions League night.
Thank you, gentlemen. To endeavor to follow this newscast live on our website, nt.ng/live, NG News now on X and other social handles displayed on the screen. We begin with agriculture. Vice President Kashim Shettima says the federal government remains committed to attracting investment to unlock the full potential of the agricultural value chain to ensure food security, job creation, and secure a brighter future for generations yet unborn. The Vice President stated this during the groundbreaking of a multi-billion naira agro-processing industrial hub in Kaduna. Mohammed Umar Ajingi reports.
Dressed in a colorful traditional Kanuri attire, the Vice President arrived in Kaduna with a host of opportunities for the people of the state. He is here to perform the groundbreaking ceremony of an agro-processing industry, a project expected to generate jobs for the youth of Kaduna State.
They will create opportunities for our young people, empowering them with skills and knowledge to engage in meaningful work and contribute actively to the economy. The youth of Nigeria must not be spectators in the economy. They must be stakeholders, builders and shapers of their own futures. This SAPZ has been classified as one of the priority projects by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. This isn't just about bricks and mortar. It is about people. It is about the resilience of our farmers, the ingenuity of our processors and entrepreneurs, and the commitment of our government and development partners to build a future that works for everyone. What we are breaking today is not just ground. It is the foundation for a new agro-industrial processing ecosystem that will serve generations to come.
Our industries are thriving, and our state is leading Nigeria's agricultural transformation. Together, let's use this moment and turn Kaduna State into a model for agribusinesses driving economic growth.
The multi-billion-dollar investment is supported by the African Development Bank.
It's expected that $1 billion of investment will be mobilized in these zones and create thousands of jobs. The success of the special agro-industrial processing zones across Nigeria will require 5 critical enablers. First, there is need for continued strong political will and commitment at the highest levels. I have no doubt that that is the case because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has designated this as a presidential initiative.
The SAPZ program is not merely an agricultural initiative, it is a catalyst for economic growth and import substitution. As we invest in agro-processing development, we are investing in the future of our communities.
The agro-industrial processing hub is expected to host processing plants for grains, fruits, vegetables, and livestock products. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Marajingi, NTA News.
And from the agri sector, we move to the power sector. Vice President Kashim Shettima has inaugurated the board of the Nigerian Independent System Operator, part of government's efforts to restructure and strengthen Nigeria's electricity sector in line with the Electricity Act 2023. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the board is tasked with overseeing the operational and market independence of the system, aimed at managing critical aspects of Nigeria's electricity supply chain. That includes grid stability, system operations, power dispatch, and market coordination.
Move to transform and position the Nigerian electricity industry for efficiency and reliability. With the unbundling of TCN, NISO will now be at the heart of our power sector, facilitating seamless coordination among generation, transmission, and distribution.
Was urged to serve with diligence, integrity, and deep sense of responsibility.
Major reform in our quest to transform the power sector for operational efficiency and for effective service delivery of a functional, reliable, and affordable electricity supply to our households, to our businesses, to our institutions, and to our industries, all for economic growth and national developments.
Integrity, discipline, good oversight of the power industry, and by God's grace and the support and prayers of everyone, we hope to transform the Nigerian electricity supply industry.
We're expected to hit the grounds running in terms of the sector coordination, transparency in system operations, transparency in market administrations, and making sure that there is grid reliability and availability and also quality of power to the teeming populace of Nigeria.
The unbundling of TCN into both the Nigerian Independent System Operator and Transmission Service Provider became imperative, and that is what has been done. And it also, suffice to say that this actually went through a very transparent and competitive process.
With the inauguration of the board, the success of Nigerian Independent System Operator will no doubt play a crucial role in shaping the future of Nigeria's power sector. Let's talk security. The National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribado, appeals to Nigerians to abstain from payment of ransom to kidnappers on the grounds that it is counterproductive to security efforts. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the NSA made the appeal while receiving 60 rescued victims abducted in Abuja and Kaduna states.
They killed my wife in my presence.
He is 51 years old and among 59 victims kidnapped and rescued through a joint security and intelligence operations. Troops of the Nigerian Army 1 Division, in collaboration with security and intelligence agencies, conducted a rescue operation leading to 60 kidnapped victims regaining freedom. The victims consist of 35 males and 25 females.
We appreciate the effort of the security men for making it possible for us to be out of there.
It is because of the federal government, still up to now, that we are still in the bush.
The Office of the National Security Advisor has provided initial medical care and psychological support to the victims.
And we are saying enough is enough. We will not be able to stop this thing quickly if people continue to give them money. I want to make a very strong appeal to all. It's understandable. When someone of yours is in captivity, you will do whatever it takes for you to get him back. But this is counterproductive.
We were kidnapped from Lere, Zangon Kataf, and Kagarko local governments. On rescue, we have been able to give them some medical attention.
Office of the National Security Advisor have been very, very helpful in coordination, bringing the services together to work for a common cause, and that is why you see the result.
They will be handed over to the Nigerian Army's 1 Division for further rehabilitation. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has assured Plateau State government of concrete security measures to tackle the security situation in Bokos. This assurance was conveyed by the DIG Operations, Kwazi Zigu Dali, at a meeting with Governor Caleb Mutfwang at the Government House, Jos. Priscilla Gurunan reports.
The recent attacks that claimed lives and destruction of property in Bokos local government area, the DIG is in Plateau State on the directives of the IGP to assess the security situation. While condoling with the government and people of the state over the incident, DIG Kwazi says in addition to the special intervention troops deployed to the state, 2 armored carriers have also been added to ensure effective security operations to restore peace in the state.
I've confirmed right yesterday when I'm speaking with the CP that the unit of the police mobile force have arrived. The IG did not stop at that. He has as well directed in order to see that these criminals did not go, but that justice also should be served to the people of Plateau State.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang expresses gratitude to the Inspector General of Police for the demonstration of love and concern for the people of the state.
We want to appreciate the deployments that have been made, and of course, all the assets that have been deployed to try to deal with this matter.
DIG Kwazi was at the Bongom's palace where he offered words of condolences over the security breach, saying nothing will be left undone to forestall future occurrences of such ugly incidents. The Bongom, the Jacob Gang Buba, decried the spate of unprovoked attacks on innocent citizens, re-emphasizing proactive measures for the protection of lives and property. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
And the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has deployed immediate relief items to victims of attack in Bokos local government area of Plateau State. This is in line with the presidential directive for NEMA to move in immediately and provide succor to the victims. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu brings us details.
This is the third time communities in Bokos local government area of Plateau State are experiencing the government attacks that claimed many lives and property worth millions of naira destroyed. Available records indicate that 5 communities in Bokos local government area of the state were affected in the latest attack, with more than 1,000 people displaced and more than 50 others lost their lives in the attack. Houses were destroyed while foodstuff and livestock carried away by the attackers. Some of the victims commended the federal government for the immediate response.
How do you feel? We feel very happy. We don't know that the government even know us for that far village.
I didn't know that the federal government knows us like this, and seriously, I'm very, very happy.
The NEMA Zonal Director, on behalf of the DG NEMA, Zubaida Umar, consoled the government and people of Plateau State over the tragic attack.
So the main purpose why we come to this local government is to deliver this support given by the federal government.
We have seen all those who are affected. We have been to hospitals. We have been to, now we're in the displaced camp to hand over these relief materials.
The NEMA team earlier paid a condolence visit to Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang, who was represented by his deputy, Josephine Pio. The NEMA team had also visited the victims at the Plateau State Hospital, currently receiving treatment. From Bokos local government area of Plateau State, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Now, Borno State government has called on the federal government and top echelons of the security architecture to address the renewed attacks on communities, security formations and facilities in Borno State, as well as other states within the Northeast region. This formed part of resolutions reached at a special expanded Security Council meeting held at the Government House, Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
Special expanded Security Council meeting brought together heads of security architecture in the state, traditional leaders led by the Shehu of Borno, and members of the State Executive Council. Governor Zulum expressed concern over the upsurge in violent attacks on communities in the hinterland that include Wulgo, Sabongari, and Wajiro, calling on the military to take the battle to the terrorist enclaves.
I want to assure all security agencies that Borno State Government will provide all necessary support to achieving this mandate.
Shehu Borno Abubakar Ibn Umar Garba El Kanemi appreciated government at all levels for continued efforts in addressing the security challenges confronting the state and called for rehabilitation of roads linking various communities. After the closed-door meeting that lasted for hours, Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Professor Usman Tar, read the 7-point resolutions.
Council expressed worry that in spite of all the efforts of the state government, 3 local government areas are yet to be resettled. They are Abadam, Buzamala, and Marte. For a country the size and caliber of Nigeria, for 3 local government areas yet to be resettled is a matter of great concern.
Other resolutions reached include call to expand more land for agricultural activities for food security, curb urban crimes, especially among youth, and total ban on indiscriminate felling of trees, among others. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
You're watching the Network News on NTA. Let's take a break. More to come when we return. You're still watching the Network News on NTA. Now let's talk health. In what experts described as a watershed for healthcare in Africa, health regulators from across the continent are for the first time gathered in Abuja, Nigeria for a capacity building workshop of the Association of Medical Councils of Africa. Uche Ugochukwu reports that the crux of the gathering is a call to rethink, reform and rebuild health systems for a stronger, healthier Africa.
2024 Anqua Capacity Building Workshop is seen as a mission to fix what is broken and future-proof Africa's health systems through smarter regulation and visionary leadership.
Our discussion will illuminate strategies and insights that will bolster regulations' capabilities.
All the leadership is aligned to a common goal, patient safety, and this is why we're all here.
One of the most striking proposals at the gathering was a shift from bring drain to bring gain, with destination countries being asked to invest in training and infrastructure back home. Also on the table was a digital transformation of healthcare records, improved credentialing systems, and new cross-border agreements to regulate professionals and tackle malpractice with greater transparency.
And to improve governance, the regulatory framework in our sector, the coordination in our data system. That is consistent with the 4 pillars of our blueprint, of which governance is a key aspect of that.
Within these challenges lies opportunities to innovate, to collaborate, to build resilience, and positively redirect the trajectory of the health status of our peoples.
All regulatory bodies in Africa must be able to sacrifice finances for the state monitoring committee or local monitoring committee to function well in oversighting the areas of their jurisdiction.
This changes the belief could mean faster, safer care for millions, better trained health workers, smarter data for early disease detection, and stronger accountability. Stakeholders are hopeful that the discussions will translate into real, lasting change across Africa's healthcare systems. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Still on health, the federal government will continue to invest and drive innovations to expressively reduce the burden of maternal and child mortality. Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isaac Salako, at the 5th induction of Community Health Officers of the Community Health Practitioners Registration Board of Nigeria, emphasized that building a strong frontline health workforce is integral to President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda to reform the health sector. Olusheye Adiabu reports.
Community health officers, CHO, are the first point of contact, especially at primary health care centers. Primarily, their task is to bridge the gaps between communities and formal healthcare systems. The Community Health Practitioners Registration Board of Nigeria has since inception of the CHO's program in 1978 trained more than 20,000 officers to serve as frontline defenders of the nation's healthcare system.
We have a lot of gap for human resource in all our PSC centers. The federal government has been doing a lot. We need to talk to state government to look at the possibility of what? Recruitment of our workers.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is passionate to taking healthcare services to the doorstep of every Nigerian in the remotest part of the country. Our policy is that no community health officer should be unemployed.
To the inductees, this is an opportunity for you to contribute to the growth of health in Nigeria.
These 930 inductees from across the country are the newest cohorts of community health officers.
I am very, very excited.
I want to go back to my community to ensure that people in the community have access to primary healthcare services.
To cap the event, some Nigerians committed to the service of community healthcare and environmental safety got recognition. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiago, NTA News.
Away from health, the management of the Public Complaints Commission says with digital innovations being deployed to ensure operational efficiency, majority of cases pending in the law courts will be drastically reduced. Briefing journalist in Abuja, the Chief Commissioner Bashir Abubakar describes ongoing reforms in the Commission as one that will engender a more peaceful and harmonious society that will propel national development. Kenneth Nanim brings us details.
As part of its mandate and in line with global best practices, the management of the Public Complaints Commission says it has introduced a number of reforms designed to expand the Commission's capacity in its operations. The highest number of complaints the Commission says is coming from the power sector, followed by the government institutions' issues of trust and corruption.
A total of 64,967 complaints have been received from when we came on board till the end of March 2025, representing an improvement from what was obtainable in the past. Out of this figure, we have so far fully resolved and dispensed of about 15,077 complaints, which translates to 23.19% resolution rate. We want every citizen to know that they have a trusted advocate wherever they are unfairly treated.
Collaboration with international ombuds community and associations to develop innovative solutions to common challenges and restructuring of the management team to establish an external support unit, the Commission says, are some of the innovations projecting its services to the global platforms. The Chief Commissioner says his team remains resolute in its mission to transform the Public Complaints Commission to become the cornerstone of nation building and democratic governance as it prepares for its 50th anniversary in October this year. Kenneth Nanim, NTA.
In other news, due to the relevance of space technology to multi-sectorial businesses, national security, satellite communication, remote sensing, navigation and data systems, it has become imperative to pay attention to its regulations. This observation by the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, was made at a stakeholders workshop on implementation of the 2015 regulations on space activities in Nigeria, put together by the National Space Research and Development Agency. Harman Jabani reports.
Space regulation, spectrum management and licensing in Nigeria is crucial for the country's technological advancement, national security and economic growth. This is because without a structured regulatory framework, Nigeria risks insufficiency in satellite operations, spectrum interference and unauthorized space activities that could undermine its space ambition. This The Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Geoffrey Naji, says can attract foreign investment, foster innovation and position itself as a leader in Africa's space industry.
We can build a space sector that drives innovation, attracts investments, and delivers real impact for our people. Let us use this opportunity to build a legacy of excellence in space, science, and technology.
Experts believe that through strong regulatory framework, Nigeria's global standing in space governance, opportunities to set regional standard by implementing best practices in space law and create job opportunities in the space tech sector.
We will effectively deploy our infrastructure to monitor activities within the Nigerian space ecosystem, both the upstream, midstream, and the downstream sector.
Innovation is not creativity and intelligence. Innovation is connectivity to the market. When you hear on the innovation index this country is high, check. You will see that they're generating jobs and money and real fame.
Moving away from a 25 years of existence to a new space in Nigeria, NASDAQ unveiled its new logo, monument, and launched the Space Regulations, Spectrum Management and Licensing in Nigeria app. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
To economic matters, economic diversification through export has been identified as a key driver in unlocking Nigeria's vast untapped potential. That was the focus at the Bankers Committee Town Hall meeting held in Kano, the first of its kind in the country. Yahana Suhasan Barao reports that the meeting brought together entrepreneurs, financial experts and policymakers with a unified goal to strengthen the Naira by boosting non-oil exports.
A town hall meeting convened by the Bankers Committee brought together key stakeholders from financial institutions and entrepreneurs to chart a new course towards strengthening the currency through the non-oil sector. Among the attendees is Fatima Suleiman Salisu, an entrepreneur who processes agricultural products. For her, the event is not just a meeting, but a moment of alignment with like minds driven by innovation and export potentials.
You as the exporter and the importer, if you have the interaction between both of you, especially in businesses, you are going to make up and understand what you are going to export and what you are going to import.
Speakers at the event stressed the need to reduce Nigeria's dependence on imported goods and foreign currencies. They say the key lies in adding value to local products and tapping into new export markets.
We have to put the available infrastructure, especially in the free zones, economic free zones. We have to encourage the potential exporters. We have to identify the new products and strengthen the existing one.
It's a good avenue for us to diversify, encourage export, and provide the enabling environment.
The agency of the federal government is called the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. If you go to their website, it provides detailed information on how to register as an exporter, how to start the export business, what products you can export, what quality to what countries.
With conversations like this gaining momentum, stakeholders are optimistic that Nigeria, from an import-dependent economy to one that strives on its own resources. In Kano, Yahana Sahasan Barao, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government is working on a revised national development plan to drive economic prosperity and national growth. To prepare for the new plan, the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning is engaging relevant stakeholders, including ministries, departments, and agencies, to gather inputs. The goal is to have the plan finalized ahead of the 2026 budget presentation.
With the coming on board of the new National Development Plan, all sectoral plans will need to be upgraded. We also need to be reviewed. We also need to be revised in order to fully align with the new plans and horizon.
All the policies that are being churned out by using the renewed hope agenda were already drawn in the plan. Even when you talk about the removal of fuel subsidy, the plan already said so. This workshop is basically to sensitize. So after the workshop, the next stage is to begin to prepare the plan.
This is the network news on NTA. For more reports, let's head to Lagos, where Hingino will be our guide. Hello, Hingino.
Thank you, Lizzie, and welcome to Lagos. Arrangements have been concluded for the commencement of MTN Champ Season 3 in Lagos. The event, which will start tomorrow, 9th of April 2025, will hold in 2 centers, University of Lagos and Yaba College of Technology Sports Center. Joel Pupola reports that participants will be competing in various athletics games.
The MTN Champs is a nationwide track and field competition organized by one of Nigeria's telecom giants, MTN. The competition is aimed at identifying upcoming athletes. This year's edition is a season 3, and MTN's chief marketing officer said, apart from amplifying community engagement through MTN Champs, the competition has also helped in contributing to youth development and discovering new talents that can represent the country in various sporting activities.
So for MTN, we remain committed to ensuring that we channel activities or focus on activities that impact on social good, right? And this is one of the areas that we believe in aligning with the government and all other necessary parastatals to push for the progress of our youth, to channel their energies into trying to explore their talents.
Other speakers at the conference eulogized MTN Champs initiative and called on other corporate groups to contribute to sports development in the country.
This is one of the most innovative and exciting events that is coming in Lagos State, and it's being, championed and supported by MTN. We all know that the role of private sector as the engine room of the economy.
It's been our core to develop and discover this talent, and all thanks to MTN, we've been able to scale this up in the last 18 months with MTN Champs. So places that we've not been able to get to before, we've been able to get there.
MTN has addressed the aspect of sponsorship and support. Every athlete needs that to excel, and MTN have addressed it very well.
For participants of the MTN Sports Academy who were selected for seasons 1 and 2 of the MTN Champs, it was a worthwhile experience as the academy has brought out the best in them. Organizers say with about 2,505 athletes comprising 1,598 males and 907 females, MTN Champs Season 3 promises to be more exciting. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
In a bid to deliver efficient rail transport service to Nigerians, the Nigeria Railway Corporation has signed a memorandum of understanding with Plateau State government to provide rail service on the Jos-Kuru line. Lanre Gbeleyi, who was at the meeting, reports.
Plateau State government's commitment to provide affordable rail service for its people led to the signing of Memorandum of Understanding. After signing the documents, both the Plateau State Commissioner of Transport and Managing Director of Nigerian Railway Corporation said the development is a sign of better things to come in the nation's transport system.
We are so concerned about giving the people alternative means of transportation. That is one. And secondly, we have also seen the fortunes in the rail transportation. That is the regional integration aspect of it.
We are now partnering with another states in physical terms. Ogun State is also coming on board very soon, but the Plateau one has been a unique one in the sense that just like that of Lagos, they had invested in the track, they've also invested in the rolling stock.
Earlier, workers of the Nigerian Railway Service had an interactive session with the management of the corporation on issues considered germane to efficient service delivery in the rail sector.
It's also preparing them for the reforms. There is definitely going to be some reforms. We are going to go into change management system where a lot of things will have to step up.
The meeting also provided an opportunity to recognize outstanding staff from different departments.
It's a welcome idea. It's a good way for management and the entire staff to meet and dialogue.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Nation's Railway Corporation stated the readiness of the organization to partner public and private establishments to boost the nation's economy. In Lagos, Lanre Bilayi, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. Network News continues with Elizabeth in Abuja after this break.
Now you're where you're supposed to be at this time. And now talking business. Amid a looming tariff war, the U.S. crude oil closes below $60 per barrel. As sell-off continues on fears of full-blown trade war, just as Japan stocks are not doing badly, rising 6%, as markets trade higher after previous sessions of losses. Gold also appears gains as bond yields climb as trade fears lend support to some currencies around the world. Economic experts in Nigeria insist it's time for Nigeria to take the advantage.
Funding. Now, with what is happening in the global space, you're talking about the issues about tariffs and all that, they need to recalibrate their businesses. And then they need kind of funding that will give them, patient funding that will give them that kind of capacity to be able to produce goods that they become very competitive in the global market.
For me, I think that is where the biggest value is going to be in, and then filling the gaps for light manufacturing in food and fast-moving consumer goods.
Now transactions in Nigeria's capital market closed in the bullish region, recouping parts of the losses recorded in the previous sessions on bargain hunting in banking stocks and a few other industry stocks. The all-share index rose 15 basis points to close at 104,376.73 basis points. Investors went home smiling with about 145 billion as a market capitalization increased to 65.59 trillion naira. For South Africa here, South Africa is also in green, recording gains of 2.34% to close at 77,245.69 basis points. For Tunisia, Tune Index, it was a marginal increase of 0.36% to close at 10,906.3. Well, this is it on business. Elizabeth, I'm still waiting to hear that you are listing in Nigeria's stock market.
Thank you so much, Benny. The need for well-meaning individuals to support empowerment in society is crucial to create positive changes and stimulate economic growth. This was the view of stakeholders in Kebbi State at the official launch of the Nasara Chronicle magazine under the Nasara Foundation, a pet project of the wife of the governor, Zainab Nasir Idris. Hassana Abubakar Koko reports.
Of the quality of life for the vulnerable, less privileged, women, children, orphans and youth, the foundation has made significant strides in various areas across the 21 local government areas of the state. The founder of Nasara Foundation and also the wife of Kebbi State Governor Haja Zainab Nasir Idris says over the past 3 years, the foundation has worked tirelessly to empower women, promote the ideals of the girl child, foster education and promote the health and well-being of women and youth in the state.
Empowering and uplifting the lives of women and well-being of the girl child.
We aim to provide insightful, engaging, and thought-provoking content.
More than 10,000 small-scale businesswomen in Kebbi State.
Where government of Kebbi State hand did not reach, the foundation hand have reached that place.
Presentation of Award of Excellence to the wife of the governor and launching of the Chronicle magazine that saw the realization of 300 million naira and 4 vehicles to support the activities of the foundation made the high points of the event. From Brenin Kebbi, Hassan Abubakar Koko, NTA News.
Let's take our last break. You're still there. Now to the global scene. More than 50 countries are set to have registered appeal to interface with the economic team of the United States over possible tariff reduction. Kolo Mohammed brings us details.
United States Trade Representative Jameson Gray is scheduled to inform the Senate Finance Committee that more than 50 countries have approached him to discuss new sweeping tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump, calling on Asian nations to strengthen trade amongst themselves. Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim said the barrage of tariffs is sweeping across the world in fast and furious fashion. There has been a witness of fraying of the global order. This he mentioned at an investment conference ahead of a gathering of Asian finance ministers and central bank governors in Kuala Lumpur. The 76-year-old king, who is undergoing cancer treatment, suffered a health scare last month, and he will address Italy's joint parliament and meet Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. The king, however, scrapped an audience with Pope Francis due to the pontiff's own health issues. In the company of the Queen, the king will be in Italy for 4 days. In other news, Prince Harry arrives at High Court in London for appeal hearing over his downgraded personal security protection when he visits Britain, following Harry's split with the royal family in 2020 and subsequent move to North America. The British government said he will no longer be given the same degree of publicly funded protection when in the United Kingdom. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
And next, the sports update with Badi.
Many thanks, Elizabeth. Let's start with volleyball, as the duo of host Nigeria Customs Service and Chief of Naval Staff ladies have missed out on a spot in the quarterfinals of the ongoing 2025 African Women's Club Volleyball Championship in Abuja after losing their round of 16 encounters on Tuesday. Host Customs lost in 3 straight sets, 25-19, the second 25-17, and the third 25-17 to Kenya Commercial Bank to end their hopes of clinching a World Championship slot. Same was the case for CNS, who, despite attempting a comeback, lost 3-1 to Little Team of Cameroon, going down in the first set 25-22, 25-18 in the second. They staged a comeback in the third 18-25 and lost the fourth 25-17. In other results, Carthage of Tunisia, Al-Akli of Egypt, and Zamalek are all through, same as APR of Rwanda, Kenya Prisons, and Kenya Pipeline. And to football now. 2 first-leg matches of the UEFA Champions League are currently ongoing, with Arsenal hosting Real Madrid at the Emirates, while Inter Milan and Bayern Munich are trading tackles. As at our last check, Arsenal were leading Real Madrid 3-0. That's a Pomelin, and of course Inter Milan had a 2-1 advantage over Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. To a bit of other sports now, Nigeria's Vincent Ugoke claimed victory in the men's discus throw at the Florida Relays, launching a massive 61.00 meters on his second attempt. He was the only athlete to cross the 60-meter mark, finishing ahead of Seth Allen, who recorded 59.30 meters, and Desmond Coleman, 57.77 meters in a dominant performance. Quite impressive. That does it on Sports Tonight. Let's return to Elizabeth.
Thank you, Badi, for the updates. President Bola Tinubu extends his condolences to the Dozie family on the passing of the founder of Diamond Bank and MTN Nigeria Pioneer Chairman Pascal Gabriel Dozie. In a statement, President Tinubu describes Pascal Dozie as a steadfast believer in Nigeria's vast potential, shaping the financial industry and expanding access to mobile connectivity nationwide. The president says the former director at the Central Bank of Nigeria, president of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group will be remembered for his service to national policy formulation, private sector development, and youth empowerment. And before we go, let's take a quick look at the weather picture for tomorrow.
You could join us. We could see some increased rainfall activities over the north for Wednesday. We're presently observing some rain clouds over the north reaching up to Borno, Sokoto, and even Katsina. We expect this prospect to increase as we get into Wednesday, giving us chances of thunderstorms over the northern part of the country. Some of these storms may come with or without rain. Prospects of thunderstorms are there to the central states and the southern half of the country. The good thing with these storms is that they should give us some temporary relief from the thermal discomfort that we've been experiencing. That's it from here. Thank you for watching. I'm Onyilo Desmond.
Now you know the weather outlook, and I'm seriously looking out for the comfort. And that's the news. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good night.